The island is destroyed. Maria is the first Category 4 to hit there in nearly a century. 150-mile-an-hour winds ripping buildings apart, knocking out power everywhere. All of the electricity is out tonight. People ordered to stay inside until at least tomorrow amid fears of more massive flooding to come. And the satellite image tonight showing Maria's massive size, dwarfing the island. No part of it was spared.
Hurricane Harvey is ripping into the Gulf Coast. Residents of Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana now bracing for the worst. The monster storm visible from space. 10 million people under watches and warnings. Residents of Corpus Christi under a voluntary evacuation order were offered buses to San Antonio. Others in Rockport, Texas told they had no choice. They needed to go or else.
In order to understand why there was such an apparent difference between the befores and afters of both Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico and Hurricane Harvey in Texas, we will take a look at congressional oversight responsibility. Each member of Congress is assigned a congressional committee. In the basic principal agent model, the committees act as principals who oversee the agents, which are the bureaucratic departments and agencies. These agencies are the specific policy turf of the principal committee. To further understand oversight specifically concerning the recent hurricanes, we will focus on the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The first school of thought is considered police patrol oversight. The theory argues that, like real police, congressional committees should act as proactive whistleblowers on any violations committed by agencies before they occur. Advantages of police patrol oversight include that it is proactive. It acts as a preventative measure before violations are committed. Lastly, less populations are harmed depending on who the agency specifically impacts. Disadvantages include the high cost of information. It is nearly impossible to monitor every action of every agency. Even monitoring a majority of actions would take a considerable amount of information that is hard to obtain and effectively go through. Because of this information issue, not every violation will be detected. Lastly, Congressmen will spend a considerable amount of time monitoring actions that are not violations. They will therefore receive no credit for their actions and cannot boost their morale for re-election. Because of the significant cost, it is concluded that in police patrol oversight, the disadvantages outweigh all else. The second school of thought is called fire alarm oversight. This oversight acts as a fire alarm that goes off when something has gone wrong. Committees therefore act as firemen who remedy violations brought to them by the public. Advantages of fire alarm oversight include that congressmen are able to redress grievances. This allows the member of Congress to gain credit for taking care of visible issues that occur. This type of oversight also helps give constituents a voice. Instead of Congress telling agencies what needs to be fixed, the people are directly able to. The people are the ones being affected by department policies and therefore should be the ones informing Congress what needs to be addressed. Lastly, time is not wasted in fire alarm oversight. Congress addresses issues that the people want addressed and are rewarded credit for fixing problems. Disadvantages include that this method is merely reactive. If Congress addresses issues after the fact, then the damage will already have been done. The department or agency will have already committed the violation, and people who are harmed must live with the unwarranted consequences. Because of the significant benefits, it is concluded that in fire alarm oversight, the advantages outweigh all else. It is obvious that when it came to Hurricane Harvey, more of a police patrol perspective was taken. Concerning Hurricane Maria, congressmen acted as firefighters, putting out the fire once the damage was done. Let's take a look at the congressional hearings that took place after the fact to address the violations of FEMA.
Let's talk about the decision of FEMA to award the contract for providing 30 million meals to victims in Puerto Rico to Tiffany Brown. single person. She had a little LLC that she set up. So we got all these people without food, without water. A month after the storm, so 30 days out, they've already been without food for a month. And we award a $156 million contract to Tiffany Brown. And she's already on the website, on your website, as having defaulted on a previous small contract for $27,000 to provide beans and rice and spaghetti. She's already bellied up on that one. She's on the website in default. She can't do that. 27. So we give her a contract for $156 million. How does that happen? How does that happen?
Corps of Engineers is saying that the island will be 100% recovered, maybe in May or June. The reality is that when I sat with those personnel, they're saying July, they're saying August, and maybe more than that. And I don't want to, lie to my people back home.
Each hurricane was highly politicized. In the upcoming clip, notice how politicians can use this tragedy to emphasize their party or themselves.
And within a matter of hours, we saw an enormous increase in the resources on the ground. That was from a cooperation that we've seen from the federal government, the state government, and the county and local government. That is really remarkable, and it's a cooperation. It's across party lines. None of those divisions matter in a time of crisis. What matters is we need to come together and save the people whose lives are at risk.
While some politicians were able to gain credit for cleanup, President Trump was not so lucky. He gained much criticism for the way he addressed Puerto Rico. Yet, while all of the politics are going on, it is easy to forget about where everyone's focus really should be.